king. Charles III was coronated after months of planning, decades of preparation, and centuries of tradition. It was the first coronation in Britain in 7 decades, and it marked a new era in the monarchy's history. The whole world witnessed this special event. Charles is the oldest monarch ever to be crowned. Thus, he undoubtedly made history. There were several firsts at his coronation as well. As many special moments, the ceremony kicked up in Westminster Abbey at 11 a.m. during the sound of a century-old coronation anthem. Charles entered the church, and those exact words were, "I was glad the new monarch was very pleased, as seen by his bright smile." The coronation event featured a number of significant traditional moments. The oath of coronation, the investiture, the anointing, and the recognition were among them. During the first section, King Charles read out a prayer, making him the first monarch to do so at a coronation. Then he signed his oath to serve the nation. The anointing was the most revered and private chapter. Although most of it took place behind closed doors, the process itself is public knowledge during this time. The Dean of Westminster poured holy oil onto the coronation spoon from a gold eagle-shaped flask known as the ampulla. Charles was then blessed by the Archbishop of Canterbury on his hands, breast, and head, the king, then put on a full-length coat made of gold silk cloth, and the next section began. He was now due to receive the royal regalia. The jeweled sword, which stands for the defense of the helpless, was one of the most impressive objects. Charles then held the sovereign's orb. That represents power in the Christian world, a representation of regal. Majesty is the sovereign's ring, and of course there was the crown, which was placed on Charles's head and was accompanied by the words, "God save the King." The crown is called St. Edward's crown. It was made for Charles II back in 1661. It is composed of solid gold and weighs 4 pounds and 12 ounces, so wearing it is no easy task. Camilla was crowned queen shortly after wearing queen. Mary's crown for the first time ever. A queen consort was given an old crown rather than a brand new one. The Duke of Sussex was seated directly behind Princess Anne, who was wearing a headpiece with a large feather on it, and that feather frequently obscured the prince's face. Some royal supporters wonder if it was done on purpose. In any case, it was evident that Harry would play a minor role at the occasion. This is the first time he has seen his family in months, and 2 significant events occurred throughout the time. We're talking about his Netflix docu-series with Meghan Markle and his explosive memoir Spare, of course. So everyone was curious to watch how the prince interacted with his father, brother, and other relatives. Eggs, however, the royal family didn't want to make too much of their disagreements visible. The prince was solely treated as a guest with no official role in the coronation. He was also denied the right to wear his military uniform, which sparked outrage because another member of the royal family with Abad reputation wore full regalia. We are talking about Prince Andrew. And at least one member of the royal family did not attend the celebration, Harry's wife, Meghan Markle. Was that the official reason stated was that their son, Prince Archie, celebrated his 4th birthday on the same day. So the Duchess made the decision to remain in the U.S. and plan a private birthday celebration for him, and after the coronation was complete, Harry himself vanished. He didn't even take part in the royal procession instead. He is said to have returned home to be with his children and wife. Guests from all across the world joined the coronation. For example, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, as well as royal couples from Malaysia, Japan, Thailand, and other countries, were invited. Emmanuel Macron. The President of France attended the event with his wife, Jill Biden. The First Lady of the United States traveled to represent her nation alongside her granddaughter. It was also the first British coronation. To allow guests of other religious faiths, Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, and Sikh leaders. Also attended the event, female bishops served in the service for the first time in history. These new elements were set to reflect the diversity of modern society. Many people were happy to see the changes and accept their new king. Despite the rain, royal fans have been gathered outside Buckingham Palace all day. However, not everyone was pleased with the coronation. During the ceremony, there were large anti-royal rallies across the country. The protesters wore yellow t-shirts and chanted, "Not my king." Police actions prevented them from ruining the day as 6 protest leaders were arrested. So the coronation proceeded as scheduled. And the culmination occurred on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. King Charles III and Queen Camilla, together with the majority of their family members, went out to greet the throng. Prince, Harry, and Prince Andrew were present, but everyone else was all smiles. And as usual, Prince Louis was waving to the fans as noticeably as he could, while they were standing there. The Royal Air Force's famous red arrows flew over the palace. It concluded the day's public celebrations. However, the King and Queen were so taken by their balcony moment that they walked out again, much to the delight of the onlookers. The coronation was indeed a spectacular sight to witness. It was an event for the ages, with hundreds of millions watching from around the world. The event later continues with an evening gathering where we had star-studded...
It's the Queen of Afro Beats. Windsor, make some noise for the amazing T1.